And welcome back to the 21 Convention 2021, the 15-year anniversary in Orlando, Florida at 21 Summit, also, of course, in Orlando, Florida. Our next speaker is a returning speaker to the 21 Convention stage. He's been speaking at our event since 2019 at the Patriarch event he first spoke at. He's spoken many times since, including at our 21 Convention in Poland back in Warsaw in 2019. He's a good friend, and he's a great coach for men. He actually is the founder of the Man Mindset, and you can find him at themanmindset.com. Without further ado, please let me welcome back to the 21 Convention stage, Steve the Dean Williams. Yeah, man.
Thank you,
sir.
Thank you. Shout out to Anthony. Congratulations on 15. It'll be 50. Make it 50, man. Congratulations, brother. Appreciate you. You know, there was a guy up here earlier today asked a question of, what do I do when I see a woman with tits and ass? How do I act and how do I respond to that? Very great question. Very great question. But I want to change your thinking for a second, because when I see a woman, I don't see tits and ass. What I see is, what the fuck can she do for me? What is she going to bring to my world? What is she going to do for me? What can she do for me that the next group of other women can't do? And see, where it starts from is usually right here. It starts at a young age for a lot of young men. And it starts in elementary school. A lot of young men will have anxiety, no confidence. A lot of these guys will have, some of them will be pushovers, and some of them will be awkward moments. And I want to let y'all guys know, as young men, it is okay to feel and think that way when you're in elementary school. But as you get to junior high school, what happens is these become what we call the awkward moments, where we're looking for an identity of who we are. And sometimes we don't have parents to guide us on that identity. So what happens is we start to carry over those behaviors, not only through high school, but as soon as we get in college and in the real world, we carry over the anxieties, the no experiences, and learning how to live with a mask. We'll talk about that, pushovers, some guys being creepy and some guys being thirsty. But here's the main thing that we've got to talk about. We are less than 2 months from the new year. And for 10 months, most of you guys are still the same person you were last year. And that is the problem. And that's what we got to talk about today. Time is always going to move. Time is always moving. It's one thing that we can't stop. It's one thing that we can't control. But what's happening to our men today is that we're not evolving as men. And a lot of young men are always scratching their head wondering, why am I not evolving? Why do I feel like I'm still having those things in high school when I get around a woman, or I see a woman, or I'm in a situation? Why am I continuously doing the same things? Or asking themselves, who is really running my life? And that's something that you got to ask yourself, gentlemen. Who is running your life? Are you actually running your life, or is there something else that's running your life? And we're going to talk about that today. But also, I'm going to give you a solution, because I'm a solution-based thinker. But in order for you to get clarity of the solution, you have to understand the why behind what's going on. A lot of guys are going to ask why I haven't changed, because a lot of guys think that, okay, you know what, I can't change. I'm the same person that I was in high school, and there's no way I can change. There's no way I can grow. There's no way I can get a woman. There's no way I can get a good relationship, and all these other things. Let's talk about that. Let's go back right here. In the 90s, I watch wrestling, huge wrestling fan. In the 90s, there was an owner, WWF or WWE, named Vince McMahon. And the 80s wasn't what we call an attitude era. The 90s was the attitude era, because it was the 90s when Vince McMahon figured out how to connect to the audience on a different level by using his wrestlers. Okay? He used The Rock. And he would learn how to use catchphrases to draw in the crowd. So when The Rock grabbed the mic and he says, well, if you smell, la, 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 and then the crowd would finish his sentence. Or when Stone Cold was up there, he would say, because Stone Cold, and he would freeze and let the crowd repeat it, because he wanted to make sure the crowd was connected to the person. Because if you're connected to the person, you're going to follow the person much more. But what's happened today is that That's the problem that's happening to a lot of men today, is because a lot of us are following a lot of YouTube theories and a lot of catchphrases that we feel like it's going to work for us, or we feel like the person is talking to us. And what we do, unfortunately, for a lot of you young men, you get caught up in the whirlwind of the drug of the catchphrase. And these are the things that we're going to talk about. But we're going to solve these things. But let me explain what I'm saying. Some of us will smoke the catchphrase of hypergamy. Some of us will smoke the catchphrase of going your own way. Okay? Now, I'm not saying that these are bad things, but these are the reasons why you are still the same way, because what you're doing is you're smoking the drug of a word and a catchphrase that has nothing to do with you. The next one, female nature, looks, money, status. I'm not saying looks, money, and status doesn't matter, but if you make looks, money, and status about a woman, you already lost, because the game will never be about women. And we're going to show you that today. Another one, I don't understand how they even came. NoFap. If y'all know about NoFap, that they push a lot. Understand there was a guy that just went on Reddit in 2011, saw an article from a guy from 2003, and then came up with the thing. So he came up and it blew up. It blew up. And also be on your purpose. Another one. Wait, let me get back one. High value man, or don't get married. These are things that a lot of young men are ingesting day in and day out. Now, this is the greatest one, the stats. It's always the boogeyman under the bed of using statistical facts to scare people into not doing things. Now, don't get me wrong. A lot of people will talk about Jeff Bezos, but wait a second. Jeff Bezos' wife, they didn't have money at first. We can't determine how much money a person makes when they get divorced. But people will learn how to use statistical fears to make you think that it's going to happen to you, okay? Another thing is that, listen, the thought process is if it happens to me, it's gonna happen to you. So, the news has a great way of doing it. Have you ever seen when someone shoots up a school, unfortunately? Maybe it's in, I won't just say North Dakota or Montana, because I'm sure there's nobody in Montana here. So let's say if someone shoots up a school in Montana, what happens is once it gets to the news, they know how to twist it where some of you won't even go to the movies in your own city because of the fear that you're going to have someone shoot up your theater. And that's how it's working for a lot of you guys out there. But here's the thing that's even worse. A lot of you young men right now are waiting for the next phrase. You're waiting for the next something or someone to tell you how to live your life as a man, how to think, how to behave, how to even speak. See, the biggest problem that a lot of you young men have is that you truly feel that women are special. You feel that there's something about a woman that you have to change who you are, how you think, how you operate, and how you even put your bid in. Don't approach, put your bid in with a woman where you begin to worship women. Some of you worship women to a point where you're taught to hate women because women are terrible. Women are not terrible. Women are very manageable to a man. A problem I always tell you is a meteor heading towards Earth that's as big as the size of Jupiter. That's a problem. But a woman having an issue, that's a quick solve. But what this does, and I have this, I want to show you guys, when you begin to follow these individuals, you begin to create a mask of not who you are, but you begin to mimic the person that you listen to as if that person is you. And you can't live your life as a man trying to be someone else. But when you're wearing a mask, this is why a lot of you are having the troubles that you're having now, because you think that that man's life is your life. And when you think that man's life is your life, you think that you have to live that man's life. But what you do is you create this mask. And the thing about this mask, this is the thing that stops you from evolving. This is the thing that stops you from growing. This is the thing that stops you from understanding you are the only one of your kind. And no one's ever pulled you guys aside to tell you that there is no one out there like you based off of your fingerprint. That's the truth. I have no reason to lie. But when you want to be somebody else, you can only be the second best of that person. You'll never be that person. You'll never live that person's life. I know we say Dr. Dre, had a divorce and everything. Unless you are Dr. Dre, then you're having the problem. But, I used to live paycheck to paycheck. I don't care about Dr. Dre's situation because I'm not him. But what we want to do is understand this. When you wear a mask, you can't actually think for yourself because what you're doing is you're just regurgitating information, theories, and thoughts of somebody else versus learning your own language. And that's the key that we're going to be talking about today. Because what I want to do is I want to explain manhood with a bowl of cereal. Because a lot of people always ask, how do I become a man? What is manhood? What does it take to be a man? It is as simple as a bowl of cereal. And let me explain why. You see, the thing about manhood, or what we talk about on the streets called game, but manhood, it's about your thoughts in line with your behaviors. That's it. It's no magical potion or ingredient. And each and every one of you have done this on a daily basis. You don't walk into your kitchen and say, well, the hypergamous nature of the spoon is this way, so I can't mess with her. Or, I can't grab the bowl because the nature of the bowl is going to do this. Or, the milk is going to reject me. Or the cereal is looking at me as a high value man. You don't do that. You just go in there and you make your bowl of cereal because your thinking is in line with your behaviors. And what you young men, or you men, you men, not young men, you men out here, have to understand is what you learn about the game is you do this in 99% of your life. When you go turn on a light switch, you just do it. When you go grab your car keys, you just do it. When you're driving your car, you just do it. You don't think about the repercussions of anything. You just do it. Now, if it's late at night and it's storming outside and you go in your house and you turn on a light switch and the light doesn't come on, your thinking, because you've already done it before, already tells yourself, it's not working. So is it a light bulb issue or is it an electrical issue? And all you do is go to your electronic and you turn it on. So if the electronic works, it's a light bulb issue. If the electronic doesn't work, it's an electrical issue. But guess who's solving it? You're solving it. And that's what I'm trying to teach you. That's what we're going to learn today. That you can solve and create your own universe the way you deem it fit to be able to live your life as a man. The only thing that matters is at the end of the day is how you see yourself. And that's the problem that we're having. We're not looking in the mirror. We're too busy looking out of the window. We're too busy looking at somebody else's life. We're too busy wondering how somebody else's live, and how someone lives and things like that. The thing that we have to start doing is we got to start looking at the mirror and looking at how we operate to ourselves, not the next man. Because as I told you before, there's not one man in this room that is the same. And your fingerprint is the proof. Your fingerprint is your proof that you are the only one of your kind in this world, period. There's not one person like you. So if that's the case, why don't you learn your own language? And that's one thing we feel that we can't learn, but you can learn your own language of how you think, how you move, and how you operate. Jill Scott, she went on, the Box, 97.9, the Box. And she said one of the most powerful statements. It's the most powerful statement. It's mind-blowing what she said. Now I'm going to explain this. She simply said this in a statement. She said, if you can tell me what to do, you can tell me what to do. But if you can't tell me what to do, then you can't tell me what to do. And here you go. How can you tell a woman what to do when you can't even tell yourself what to do? When there's no mechanism or no guidance in yourself of your laws, rules, codes, principles, mission statement, vision statement of how you live your life. You cannot tell a woman what to do when you have no idea what to do for yourself. How can you tell a woman what to do when you're too busy mimicking somebody else's thoughts, too busy moving like somebody else versus moving the way you should move for yourself? How can you tell someone to do when, guess what? Where's your personal identity? Can you honestly say to yourself, I know who I am, I know why I do what I do, and I will back up any move that I make because it's not about anybody else, it's about me. When you don't have a self-concept, what is your self-concept of you? Have you even asked yourself that question? What we want to do is we want to show you how to break the mask. But see, when you break the mask, it is at this point you become one with yourself, because right now, for a lot of you, unfortunately, you have a mental chain that is blocking you from evolving and growing because you've never taken the time to realize that you are the most important thing in your life. See, a thing that a lot of you guys don't know, maybe no one's ever told you guys, is that you are a winner. And I know you're going to say, man, Steve, that's cliche. I always tell my clients all the time, you're a winner. You were born a winner. And people don't understand what that means as men. You were born a winner because when your mom met your dad and there was that great sperm race, you beat your brothers and sisters. Not only beat out your brothers and sisters to the egg, there were things in your mother's body trying to stop and prevent you from getting there. But guess what? Did you need YouTube? I guess sperm tube or whatever. Did you need that? Did you need that? Did you need Twitter? Did you need a catchphrase to get to the egg? No. You, each and every one of you, had desire, drive, and passion, and a fuck you attitude. It's all about me. Because for some reason nowadays, they want to make you feel that being selfish is a bad thing. But being a man is being selfish because the world revolves around me, as it should you. The world should revolve around each and every one of you guys. So the next time someone tells you you're a winner, just take a moment and say, yeah, I am a goddamn winner because I'm here right now. I'm here right now. And I didn't need anything or anybody but myself. You know, I love watching Peaky Blinders. Peaky Blinders. I think this is a great show on Netflix, Peaky Blinders. And one of the statements that was made when he was having a moment of what he called a crisis, and his maid asked him what's going on. What did he say? I know what this is, to himself. It is just myself talking to myself about myself. How many of you guys live like that? How many of you guys talk to yourselves? It's not, doesn't make you crazy, but that's the only person you should be talking to, is to yourself. Most men, and we'll learn this, I'll teach you more in depth in the workshop. But you've got to talk to your scribe. If you don't have a scribe, we're going to teach you how to have a scribe. That's the person that you talk to that jots down information on how you live. You've got to have a marketing team. You got to talk to them because they're the people that will market and promote you. So you've got to market whatever it is you're thinking to yourself because you have to approve it for you before you can even do it with anybody else. You have to have a judicial system. You've got to have your own government where you take that law towards your government and you make it a law in how you operate in the world. We don't operate for women. We don't operate for sex. We don't operate to please people. We don't operate for anything. We are always operating for ourselves. And that's why I always saying it's just myself talking to myself about myself. Because going back to the guy with the good question he asked about the titties and ass early on, the man that talks to himself, about himself, about himself, he already knows what to do. Because he's rehearsed what he's been doing all his life. See, most people think even approaching a woman has to be an approach. Man, I don't approach women. That's beneath me. Why would I approach a woman? Why would I throw shit up on the wall? Or why would I adjust what I have to say to somebody who's not proven herself to me? See, as a man, I put my bid in. And what is my bid? My bid is the same every day, all day. Because I'm not trying to prove myself to a woman, especially a woman, really. She's going, what I am, this is who I am. Either accept me or you don't. And if you accept me, so what? And if you don't, so what? The single-minded man. What is that about, being single-minded? How does it feel to be in control of yourself so much that there is nothing out there that can affect you? There is nothing out there that can move you off of what we call your square. On the street, they talk about your square, meaning that I'm always going to be who I am. I'm never going to change who I am for a woman. I'm never going to change who I am for anybody. Now, I've always said this before, and I'll tell you again, please write this down. There are only 3 laws I want you gentlemen out here to live by. There's only 3. Law of the land. Don't kill anybody because they'll snag your ass in the first 48. I mean, they'll ping your phone. I watch a lot of these 48, so don't kill anybody, okay? Second law, if you're speeding, don't speed, especially in the school zone. They'll give you a ticket, or they might beat your ass or worse, okay? Second law. Third law is just go to your job and do what you're supposed to do and go home. If you can abide by those 3 laws, the beautiful thing about the game or manhood is that each and every one of you can create your own universe to your specifications. And when you create your own universe to your specifications, it's at that point women have never met you before because they've never met somebody who's governed himself for himself without worrying about the repercussions of what somebody is going to do. That's what a single-minded man is. But how do we do that? Now, right now, well, this is my mind right now because the spotlight is on me. Ask yourself right now, where is your spotlight on? Is your spotlight on a YouTuber? Is your spotlight on a phrase, a catchphrase, or a word? My question is why isn't your spotlight on you 25 hours a day, 8 days a week, and even on Sunday? Why isn't that spotlight on you? Gentlemen, I will keep telling you this till the day I die, that you are the only one of your kind. You are the most important thing to yourself. So why not put the spotlight on yourself to guide yourself how you manage the world for yourself versus thinking that just a woman, listen, let me tell y'all guys something. A woman has a right to say no. A woman has a right to say, fuck you. I got a husband, I'm married. She's got a right to reject you. She's got a right not to talk to you at all. But I have a right not to even give a fuck. And the reason why I have that right is because the spotlight is always on me and what I have to do for myself. Because who I am today, now the saddest time, I guess, for me, I always say this, the saddest moment for me is probably like 11:59 tonight. It's my saddest time because I must die, or because I evolve, I've got to get rid of the mindset I had today. Because even though I'm in love with that person, infatuated with that person, I've got to let him go because I've got to prepare for the new me. Every day, gentlemen, you should be evolving as a man, and this is an infinite thing. I've been in the game since I was 9 years old. I'm 50 now, and I've been in the game since I was 9 years old. So, and I still don't know anything. I'm still learning. I'm still learning because your mind is infinite. You, gentlemen, if you begin to scratch the surface of you and begin to realize the potential that you have for yourself, it's mind-blowing when you learn and cultivate a universe for yourself, not for anybody else, a place that you can go to ask yourselves the questions that you need to know the answers to, a place that you can go to watch the film. And I say a man should have a film room. That means every night before you go to bed, you watch the film on yourself. How did I approach that woman? What did I do today? What are the adjustments that I can make to benefit me the next time I run into that woman? That's how you evolve. You don't evolve by listening to somebody else's story. Yeah, everybody has a story, but their story's not you, because if I eat, you don't shit for me, right? And vice versa. It doesn't work that way. So what you have to understand is your story is your story. That's what makes you unique to women, because she should never be able to recognize you through your behaviors. She should be curious to know, why do you move and why do you think the way that you think? Let me tell you something. A woman will never define me. We're so busy being defined by what we think of the world. We're worried. We want the world to like us. We want the world to look at us and say that, you know what? Wow, he's a good guy. Or a woman saying, wow, he's a great man. I want to sleep with him and all this other stuff. Now, let me tell you what a man thinks. He doesn't give a fuck what the outside world thinks. Because, please write this down, gentlemen. Very important. The world has every right to believe what it wants to believe about you. That is the right of the world. Women can judge you, men can judge you, couples can judge you. But I have the right to not only not give a fuck, but I have a right of not making it my business. We're too busy looking at the last domino versus the first domino. We're too busy looking at what a woman has done to somebody versus looking at what that somebody did in the beginning to cause the end result. See, I want to get you guys to change your mindset to look at the world in a whole different way, as in the first domino versus what the YouTubers are doing. They're always telling you about the end result, where you assume that, you know what? You don't think there's guys out there that poke holes in rubbers to knock a woman up and get them pregnant? Do you guys actually think all single mothers are bad? Let's look at Vanessa Bryant. Is she bad because she was a woman of circumstance? These are things that you've got to think about. But the catchphrases and the kayfabe and all that other stuff that I was telling you before makes you think, or it gives you an excuse to say, you know what? I'm not going to talk to her because she ain't shit. But you don't even know her. She hasn't even proven herself and her value and her worth to you, because you're the kings. You're the gods. You are the men. And whoever comes into your world must prove their value and worth to you before they're even allowed to get some of your time. See, the thing about a woman, and again, this is why I always say they will never define me, is because when I see a woman, yes, I'm just like you guys. I love ass and titties. I love those things. But you know what? That gets my curiosity. Now, here's my question, because this is how I govern myself. What is she going to do to get my attention? What is she going to do to get my attention? What is she going to do to be worth my time? Next phase. Then, what is she going to do to get me to fall into respect? Now, remember, I don't fall into love. I fall into respect. So what is she going to do to get me to fall into respect? Then, what is she going to do to get the dick? That's it, in that order. Because I have to take care of me the best way I know how. And I have to put mechanisms in place to sift out the women that are not worth my time versus the women that can bring something to my universe. But the only way I can do that, gentlemen, is setting it up for myself. And this is something that I know maybe not all of you have not even thought about even doing, because we're so busy worried about the woman. But let's look at the woman for a second. Look, have you ever thought about what you're falling in love with? What you're falling in lust to? Makeup, eyeliner, wigs and weave, tight clothes and push-up bras. That's not who she really is. But that is the thing that they cake on. That's their mask that they put on to get you men to feel that they are special. Oh man, she's got a beautiful body, so she's special. So that means I've got to be something different to try to please somebody who doesn't even love herself. These women are the most insecure women in the world. They look in the mirror every day hating themselves. Every day they hate themselves. Every day they cake on makeup because they don't like what's in the mirror. Every day they put on weaves because they don't like what's in the mirror. They literally hate themselves. But you know what?
Most men are weak and beta. How do you get past this? How do you be a real man? How do you be a husband and a father?
That has been where we've dropped the ball as men, is because we're too acceptant. We're too tolerant. I'm calling for intolerance for evil.
We need to be able to properly identify with the definition, what is masculinity?
We need men to stand up and do heroic things. building a tribe of people who are of like mind, who you can depend on, who hold you accountable, who will call you on your BS.
I call the official tagline for now with 21 Convention is America's last stand for masculinity. I think it is. The event, and it's as a reflection of the manosphere, really.
You come out and you consciously attend and start talking with these people, because people who are coming here to discuss big ideas, important ideas.
Not just talking about being masculine, but okay, you've done all this self-development, what are you gonna do with it?
You know what they love? Dresses, purses, and shoes. You want to know why? Because those are the things that take away her insecurity. And anything that takes away her insecurity, she will submit to. What if you, I'm not calling you dresses, purses, and shoes, but what if you could be on the same level to be somebody to take away her insecurities? She will do just about anything for you. But see, they don't want you to understand that on YouTube, because we're all fear-based. Fear is the thing that moves things in a lot of people, but it doesn't move things in men, because a woman will never define me. Another man's life is another man's life. I respect his life. His life is his own, but his life is not mine, because my life is my life, because I lead my life for myself. I don't lead it for anybody else. I don't try to prove myself to anybody. I don't try to impress anybody. The only person I got to prove and impress is me, because I always sing the song, me, I, my. That's all I sing. That is all I'm about, is me. And again, another man's life, he can have a divorce. That could be an end result. Yes, divorce. He can have a divorce. But here's a question. What does it got to do with me? So what? Am I living that man's life? Because if I was living that man's life, that's one thing, but I'm not living that man's life. And if he got divorced, so what? That's nothing to do with me. And I know it's going to sound like I'm a dick, but I'm being a dick. I don't care, nor should you. Maybe, yes, you can learn a few things from another man's life, as in certain behaviors that he displayed to lose the woman, yes. But the end result is none of your business, because his end result is not you, because remember, you are the only one of your kind. He's not you. Just because she does it to him doesn't mean she'll do it to you. That's one of the most important gimmicks that they've got going today. And I write this down, A, B, and C. Write A, B, and C down, guys. So if y'all don't believe me, like the other guy was saying, it's great. If you don't believe me, see it for yourself. It's real. Think about it. If A does it to B, that means A is going to do it to C. Let me give you a prime example, gentlemen. You're at a bar. You see a beautiful woman sitting down, and you see a guy walk over to her, and she throws a drink in his face. Most of you guys will automatically assume that that woman is going to throw a drink in your face, or you're already going to do the one thing that you shouldn't do as a man, and that's place a judgment on someone who hasn't proven herself to you. You don't know what the two said to each other for her to throw the drink in his face. But the way they have you guys thinking right now is that just because it happened to me on Mars, technically, it's going to happen to you in the comfort of your own home. But a lot of you guys believe that because the way things are working. I'm telling you right now, just because she does it him, it has no meaning to me, because I have my laws that govern me and how I operate. And how I operate with a woman is simply this: I'm drama free. If you bring any drama to my universe, which is peace, calm, and relaxing, you're gone. If you raise your voice, you're gone. If you try to tell me what to do, you're gone. Matter of fact, you have to do a lot to stay, because every woman that you should be dealing with should know two things: that you're a man that can say no, and she should have one foot out of the door, meaning every day she should prove herself to you. Prove why she's going after your name or your ring or your time. But for some reason, we forgot that we have worth. We forgot that we have value. And what we do is we make it about the woman, trying to please her. Gentlemen, happiness. You can't make a woman something that she's not on the inside. Stop trying to make her happy. Stop trying to buy into what you think is going to make her happy. It is not my job as a man to make a woman happy. It's my job to make her feel special. But I'm not here to make her feel happy, because I'm too busy making myself happy. I'm too busy focused on what I have to do and how I have to grow as a man and not worry about what she's doing and what she's thinking. So just because she does it to him doesn't mean she do it to me. Now, if she rejects me, okay, so what? Some of us have the fear of failure. Some of us have the fear of success. But as a man, why should you care? You see, when you learn your bid, now I just give you an example of a bid, all right, ollie oxen free. Just use that word, right? Let's say that's my bid, right? This is how I approach a woman, and this is what I say. Not to say that you say that. Ollie oxen free, right? So the first thing I have to do is go to my marketing. I scribed it first. Okay, when I see a woman, this is why I'm going to do it. This is my bid, ollie oxen free. Then once I scribe it to myself, it is at that point I have to market that to me. Because in order for it to work, you've got to convince yourself. And it's something that we don't even think on that level of, we've got to, what I say, I've got to convince me, because this is a thing I'm going to do for every woman I meet. If it's online, offline, and even if I got to put a piece of paper on a dove, I'm going to say ollie oxen free, hypothetically, right? So, but it's not done there. So when I'm taking a shower, I'm saying ollie oxen free. I'm rehearsing. When I'm eating a sandwich, ollie oxen free. How many of you guys even do this? How many of you guys rehearse? See, a lot of the people that teach you all this theory, they don't understand game, because they're not making it about you and how you've got to study for yourself. When I'm brushing my teeth, ollie oxen free. So that means that I know that just as well as making cereal. So when I see a woman, all I am doing is the one thing that I've rehearsed all my life, and not worried about the result, because the result will not define you. Stop thinking that just because she rejects you, that you're a loser. Just because she says no, that you suck or you're a weirdo or you're creepy. No, it doesn't mean that. She's got the right to say no. She's got the right not to give a fuck. But when you learn how to rehearse how you put your bid in, as a man, you should put your bid in. Now, when you go to an interview, you put your, now, I know like y'all saying, what does put bid in? Think about an interview. When you go to an interview, you just present the best you to the company and allow the chips to fall where they may. It's the same thing. So when I put my bid in with a woman, all I'm doing is, this is who I am. I've rehearsed me. I don't practice, I rehearse. I don't throw shit up on the wall, I rehearse. I don't just say things, I rehearse. I don't change what I have to say for somebody, I rehearse. Because at that point, I can be proud of what I did. I didn't do anything wrong. But see, one thing y'all don't understand is, when's the last time y'all bet on yourselves when it came to a woman? Y'all know what that means, to bet on yourself? Let me tell you what that means for some of you that don't know. When I see a woman, yeah, I will say, damn, she's sexy, right? But then all of a sudden I'm saying to myself, Steve, how many moves? How many moves is it gonna take you to get this ass? Shit, I don't know. It'll probably take 7 moves. I'm talking to myself. It's gonna take 7 moves. Nah, man, it's gonna take 15. All right, bet. I bet I can get her this fast. Ollie oxen free. That's all I'm doing. Remember, I'm working within myself. Where the average man will see a woman and say, oh, she's so beautiful. She might have a boyfriend. She might not like me. What do I have to do? Do I have to take her out to dinner? Do I have to kiss her ass? Do I have to bend over backwards? What do I have to do to try to impress this woman? I don't impress women. I said impressions. I'm not here to impress a woman. I'm too busy impressing myself. I'm too busy. The sunlight will always shine on me. And that's why I want you guys to think nowadays, to become single-minded, is when you make everything about you and not those that are outside of you. Next one. This is very important. No matter what a woman says or does to you, always remember it is one word of one sentence, of one paragraph, of one page, of one chapter in the book of you. That's how deep the game is. One word. Women are not special enough to get a chapter. She only deserves a word until she proves her worth. But no matter what happens, if she says yes, if she says no, it's still one word of one sentence in one paragraph, of one chapter in the book of me. She's got to prove her worth and value to me because she's not special enough. I'm not going to give her a free pass off of makeup. I'm not going to give her a free pass because she wears a mask. I'm not going to give her a free pass because she looks beautiful and she's stuck up. For every woman that forces a guy to take her to dinner, there is some guy out there getting it for free. I'm serious. Every woman that has got a guy buying her something, she's buying that motherfucker something for free. She's cooking for that guy. She's sucking his dick for free. He doesn't have to do anything. You want to know why? Because she sees the value in that man to say that not only does he take away my insecurities, but he makes me feel special. So much that what do I have to do to prove myself to him to be able to be the number one thing in his world? Because all he is about himself. And see, that's why, one thing that's funny, I tell you guys, when I have my clients, they always laugh at me because they always are thrown off. They're like, Steve, why do you always say you're not trying to fuck? I tell them I'm not. I don't meet women to fuck because fucking a woman is beneath me because of the way I think. Listen to me, feel me on this. I'm not trying to fuck a woman. I'm trying to show a woman why she should fuck me. That's the difference. I'm not bending over backwards to try to fuck her. Why would I do that when I create universes and worlds in my mind? Why would I belittle myself to accepting her crumbs of, I don't know, maybe, I'll think about it, I'll get back. I don't do that shit because I value me on such of a level because I'm the only one of me. There's no one like me in this world or on this world, let's say this planet. But the beautiful thing about it is I am the opportunity. I'm not a woman's option. I'm opportunity. And the reason that I'm opportunity is because I know me so well today. I didn't say tomorrow because tomorrow I've got to start all over again. That's how you evolve, don't? And the problem is we're still the same people each and every day. The library. What do you have stored in your library? Every one of you that begins to learn how to create laws, you've got to store information to access. If I ask you how to count to 10, you can count to 10. If I ask you your ABCs, you can go and write forwards and backwards. And I always tell guys, if I ask you what 2 + 2 is, you'll say 4. Why? Because you have it stored in your library. But here's the $1 million question. Why don't you have your bid stored in your library? Why don't you have how you move stored in your library where you don't wait for things to happen, where you have to eat a Twix and try to freeze time and try to fix something? Why don't you already have it stored right here? That's the single-minded man. Having information stored in your mind before it even happens, and all you do is just access the information. These are the things that draw women in because these women expect you guys to fail. They expect you to kiss their ass. They expect you to be nervous like you were in high school. They expect all these things from you. But the one thing they don't expect is a man, because a lot of men, what I say, are going left to right. They walk on eggshells, beat around the bush. They try to be a friend. I don't even know how the fuck that, I don't even know what a woman friend is, but they try to be a friend and all that other stuff. They sidebar things, they lie, they manipulate, they deceive and all this other stuff. As a man, I'm going straight at her because that's how I go at myself. What you see is what you get, and it's up to you if you want me or not. That's why when I put my bid in, I tell you guys, never ask for a phone number. I don't know why you hate yourselves enough to ask a woman for a phone number. Remember, if I create worlds and universes in my mind, and I'm guided on who I am, do you actually think I'm going to grovel myself and ask a woman for a number who wears a mask why would I ask her for a number? No, you're calling me. Call me. Now, she says, no, at that point, sure, you can ask for a number, but I always offer my number first because that's part of my bid. That's how I manage me. You're not somebody else's statistic. Yes, stats are okay at some point, but you're not somebody's statistic. Gentlemen, what if there's a statistic that said white guys play golf eat mayonnaise, and watch Friends all day or Seinfeld and shit, right? You know what I mean? Or a statistic that black men, that, you're a gangster and a rapper and a woman should grab her purse because 10 people got in the room and figured that out about you. You're not a statistic. You're not a statistic. The only statistics that you should have is on how you move for yourself. That's your statistic. But again, the kayfabe of what's going on is that people use statistics to make you think that, fear-based statistics. You know what? If you get married, it's going to end in divorce. Really? If you meet a woman, she's going to take your child away. Remember, if you meet a woman, not say you've already fucked, if you meet a woman, the statistical choice, the numbers show that you're going to end up in family court. How can they say that about me when nobody knows me, ready, but me? So everything that they're saying is really none of my business because it has nothing to do with me, because I am the only one of my kind. How do we grow? How do we wake ourselves up from the nightmare of theory, all this theory that people are spitting out? I will never knock a man for going on YouTube and telling people what they think. The problem I have is that I understand children that are in the kindergarten, first grade, and second grade to be disillusioned, naive, and gullible. That's okay as little kids because we don't know anything. But we're grown goddamn men. We're grown men. We're not naive and disillusioned, but they tell us something and we think it's truth. It's their truth. It's not my truth. You're allowed to have your own truth. That guy took my line. That's why I tell you, don't believe you see for yourself. I've always been saying that shit. He took my line. I don't know where he got that shit from. He got my line. But anyway, he's right. But the thing that you've got to do is listen. It's okay to watch YouTube. I'm not saying don't watch YouTube, but you got to be careful of the words that people use and understand that, wait a second, this person's allowed to tell me that, you know what? If I meet a woman, she's going to divorce me and take me for all I have. He's allowed to say that. But is it really your business? Is he really talking to you when you should be talking to yourself? It's the one thing that has been holding you young men back all these years, thinking that listen, it's easy to complain about women. It's easy. It's the easy way. Some of us love the easy way out. But what if it's about me? What if the game or manhood is about me? It's not about women. Sorry. Next thing you've got to do is you've got to meet you. Every morning you should be telling that guy in the mirror, I love you, man. You're the baddest motherfucker, man. What we doing today? How much ass are we going to get today? How many times are we going to get rejected today? Man, God damn, I love you. And I promise he'll tell you it back. When you tell him, you know what? It's you and me versus the world. I got your motherfucking back. There's nobody that's going to stop us today. I promise you he'll tell you back. Because the only person that you should be concerned with is the man in the mirror, not somebody else's life. Remember, gentlemen, women should be drama-filled. Women should gossip and all that other stuff. But as men, you should look in that mirror every day and tell yourself you love them. I always tell guys when I do my radio shows, at the end of all the shows, I always tell them, before you go to bed, think about the graveyard. I always tell them, think about the graveyard, because everybody in there has one thing in common. They thought they had tomorrow coming to them. You never know when your time is up, so live your life the best way you can. And the best way you can is by looking in the mirror, but also talking to yourself. Gentlemen, I know it sounds crazy, but when you begin to, right now, it's going to be kind of hard right now, because if you do it right, you've got to deal with your mind. The greatest enemy is not women. It's how you think. You gentlemen, for some of you guys, have created a mindset where he's telling you you're not good enough. He's telling you you're too short, you're too ugly, you're too fat, you're too poor, you can't get the woman. He's going to do everything he can to keep you exactly where you want to be. And for a lot of you guys, you don't even realize how dangerous this is. Matter of fact, I'm going to show y'all something. Ready? Peep game. Now, when you see a woman, for a lot of you guys, you might get nervous. You might have anxiety issues or confidence issues, or you'll get a feeling, okay? You see a beautiful woman, and if you're nervous, and there's no judgments here. If you're nervous, that's fine, but I want to show you something. Isn't it odd when you see a woman that you get this nervous feeling? But when you go on YouTube and watch somebody tell you about, I don't know, hypergamy or some stupid ass shit like that, you feel nothing. Matter of fact, not only do you not feel nothing, don't you notice how your mind tells you to watch more of it? Let's watch more of it. Let's keep going down that rabbit hole and let's keep going. Let's keep learning new words and new phrases. But I want y'all to think about this. Why is it? Why is it odd when you see a woman, you feel one way, but when you go on YouTube, you don't feel the same way? You want to know why? Because your mind knows that you're about to do something that you shouldn't be doing. And that means evolving and going outside your comfort zone. And that's why it will do everything it can to slow you down and stop you. But the one thing it won't do is it will always push you towards those words. I think the new word today, the new flavor of the month is high value man, right? So isn't it odd that it's pushing you towards content that will speak on high value men? And you don't even realize you're doing it because that's how cold your mind is. But your mind, when you make the proper changes, should be like your secretary. Hey, good morning, such and such. You know, we got a list. Okay, we got Tina, Tammy, and Tamika. We've got a 6 o'clock with Tamika. We got, Tammy, she's a little mad right now, so we got to call her and calm her down. And we got to get rid of the other one because she disrespects you. After that, we're going to go to the mall. We're going to go out. We're going to have a good time. That's how your mind should work. Your mind should be sitting around coming up with laws, rules, codes every day on how you live your life. You should always talk to yourself and discover, then rediscover. See, most of us are under this impression, and I don't want to be the bearer of bad news, but I'm going to be a bearer of bad news. I'm sorry. First, I wanted to say I'm sorry. Because what these guys have been doing, you got to understand, how do I learn? How do I make the change? How do I grow? Oh, wait a second. I can find a magical pill and change tomorrow. No, man. 25 hours a day, 8 days a week, and on Sunday. The first thing you must do is get rid of all the garbage that you have. You know, one thing I always tell my clients, I always ask them, have you ever seen a do-it-yourself show where they buy a house and they sell it? You know, one of those fixer-up shows where they buy a house and they sell it. Well, before they sell it, gentlemen, they've got to tear down the walls of the house, the sheetrock, and look at the bones of the structure when it has mildew, asbestos, bad wiring, and bad plumbing. You can't sell that. You can't put on the picket sign that, oh, we cleaned up the mold in the house and we cleaned up the pipes in the house. No, you've got to go in there and clean up the bad stuff because you can't sell the bad stuff. But what you can sell is a nice kitchen and a nice bathroom and things like that. And what I'm saying is, unfortunately, this is going to suck, but it's going to take time. You can never be a doctor in a day. You can't fly a plane in a day. But a lot of people will have you thinking that you can be a man overnight, and it just doesn't happen. What happens is once you begin to self-discover yourself, the change is going to come when you get knocked on your motherfucking ass. The change is going to come when you get rejected and you keep pushing forward. The change is going to come when somebody says something about you and you just laugh it off. That's when the process is going to happen. But it's not going to happen overnight because this is a process. The game, manhood is a process in which it's you versus the world. It's you talking and self-discovering you. But the thing I want to say before I take questions real quick is just think about this. The ball is going to drop in two months. What do you want to be in 2 months? That's the thing you got to ask yourself. I got love for you. I respect the fact that, number one, I'm going to tell you why you won or you're in the right way, because you're here right now. You're here right now because you want to learn. That's the start. But what are we going to be when that ball drops that we're not right now? How many of us said, this year is going to be my year this is going to be my year to stop. And yet you're still the same person because you have not connected with the most important person, which is you. So last thing I want to say, always remember, gentlemen, at the end of the day, this will never be about me. I wish it was. I'm arrogant enough to think everything is about me, but it's not about me. But to me, it's about me. But what is the world about you? What are you going to establish laws, rules, and codes that suit your needs to your name? Your name is everything. Your name is a thing that should carry you because it defines who you are as a man. So the question you've got to ask yourself, don't ask me, don't ask anybody on YouTube. You've got to have a one-on-one with yourself and start a process of stop taking in garbage and start rediscovering yourself. Thank you. Any questions? Any questions, gentlemen, please?
Hey, is this on?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Actually, I'm not going to ask a question. I'm just going to say thank you. They say you're the average of, 3 or 4 people you hang out with most.
Yes.
And this is why I come here, for this
Yes.
kind of thing. You just challenged me to do you challenged me, and I appreciate it.
Well, no, wait, no. Hey, you understand? As much as I want to take credit for it, I can't. I'm not allowed to because that's my law. I want to say thank you for being open enough to not accept what I'm saying, but to see that there's a different way. I appreciate you saying thank you, but I can't accept it, man, because this is about you. You were the one that said, you know what? I'm going to go to the 21. You were the one that got in the car. You were the one that got in the plane. You were the one that got in the car and got over here. You did it. I didn't do it for you. So I say thank you, but I appreciate what you're saying. Please listen, I appreciate what you're saying, but that's not my job for you to thank you. My job is to show you that there's another side to this whole coin that most men are not privy to, but you men are here to be privy to information that most people outside these walls will not be privy to. But I say thank you, sir.
All right, we're good.
Damn, that was powerful. Thank you.
No, you're powerful. No, I can't take it. I wish I could.
Stop.
No,
You're
I can't.
awesome.
No, I'm
you
not,
can
I'm not
accept
bullshitting
it.
you. I'm not
All right.
bullshitting you. Okay, go ahead. Go. I'm sorry. Go.
So you dropped so many nuggets. I mean, I feel like every slide was a nugget.
Yes, sir.
What would you say is the one foundational principle, the one you have 10, 20, 30 seconds, the elevator pitch? What are you telling a guy to make him go from a loser to the hero?
Number one, you're not a loser. That's number one.
The winner.
No, you don't lose. I don't fail and I don't lose.
Right.
I learn. There's win, learn, draw. I don't fucking lose. I'm a fucking man. I don't lose
Right.
shit. But what I'm saying to you is the first thing you got to do is look in that mirror and say, I love you and I got your back. That's the first step is you've got to look at that man in the mirror and say, look, they're going to be tough times. They're going to be hard times where I want to go with the crowd. I want to scream hypergamy and all this other bullshit. You're going to be like that sometimes. But that's the moment that you got to catch yourself and say, wait a second, I got me. What do I need to create for me to be able to answer the question? And when you have that, write it down. Take notes on you. Write it down. That's your scribe. Scribe. I got a thought. You write it down. Once you have that written thought down, then you must sell that to yourself. Remember, that's your marketing team that markets, promotes, and sells you. See, if you don't believe it in yourself, how is somebody else going to believe in you? You market it to yourself. Then, see how there's layers. Then once you prove that, stamp that, you bring it to your judicial system and make it a law. That this is a non-negotiable. That means when it happens, I do not turn away from it. That's how it works, and that's how deep it is. I try all I can to get you gentlemen to keep the focus and the light on yourselves. The longer you keep the light on yourself, the brighter your light is going to be. Any other questions, gentlemen? Oh, yes, sir. Yes.
So it seems like a lot of your information
Yes.
is very rational. There's very little emotion from what I'm hearing. How do you check your emotions and maintain that rational?
I don't have, I'm emotional. Like, I'm a Cowboy fan, so I'm emotional. I'm emotional. But I don't have like emotions like fear, anxiety, and things like that. I just accept the world for what it is. I can't change the world. I can't change people not liking me for the color of my skin or the height that I am or hate me because I can get women. I don't worry about those things. It's none of my business. You know, I've got guys all the time saying, Steve, show me your receipts. Man, when you got game, you can't put business on the street. But number one, The only person that I had to prove myself to or answer to was my father. But I'm a grown goddamn man. I can't prove myself to someone else. But when it comes to having emotions, it's okay to be emotional. The emotions that you should be to yourself. When you look in that mirror, the love and admiration you should have to yourself should be above all things. And when you have that love, you have that admiration to yourself, nothing will matter at that point. It's weird. The women will be more drawn into you because they can't figure you out, because they're waiting for you to tell them what to do. Always remember, what kind of man are you? Are you the kind of man to tell a woman what to do? Or are you the kind of man who can't tell a woman what to do? But whatever she does to me doesn't define me. Remember, one word, one sentence, one paragraph, one chapter in the book of me. So it really doesn't have any power to overtake me. And sometimes we hurt, and I understand for a lot of you guys are going through things, okay? But what I'm saying to you guys is don't run away from the hurt. Accept it. Open your arms to it so you can taste it, so you know that I have to create something that is going to protect me from that hurt. Don't run away from the hurt. Run towards it. But also run towards the bullets. Run in the dark cave. Run towards the unknown. There should be no fear of failure. There should be no fear of success. You need to accept who you are as men, grow as men, and be your own man. But I got 37 seconds. Let me just say this. Just remember, at the end of the day, only you can unlock the chains. Only you can do it. I can't do it. A YouTuber can't. Nobody can do it. But you must do it for yourself and believe in yourself, love yourself, and push yourself. When you do that, you then become single-minded. You do it every day with cereal. Why can't you do it with your own life? Come on, guys. Y'all know you can walk in your kitchen, blindfold yourself, and fix yourself cereal. You don't have to go to YouTube. You have to use words. When you're hungry, you're hungry. If there's no cereal, you solve it. If the spoons are dirty, you wash the spoons. If there's no milk, you get something else. Matter of fact, how your mind works, got 30 seconds. You stopped the clock? Good. Okay, real quick. How your mind works, let me show you a real quick thing how your mind works. How many of you guys wake up in the morning and say, I'm hungry? And all of a sudden your mind starts to say, well, shit, we got some food in the refrigerator. Or it's in the morning. I want some breakfast. Well, we get some coffee. We got a bagel in the refrigerator. But wait, why don't we go to McDonald's? That's 4 rice, 2 left. And you know what? God damn it, we're going to be late at time. So no, let's go over to Dunkin' Donuts with 2. That's how your mind works when you're one with yourself. You should be able to talk and solve things yourself. And that's the single-minded man. But guys, this is a great thing. Again, thank you, Anthony Johnson. But most importantly, I want to thank you guys for taking the time to learn and rediscover yourselves. Give yourselves an applause. Thank you.
It's 2021. Welcome to the new 21 Report. I'm Tony Bruno, and I'm here with a special guest, Steve the Dean Williams. Steve, how are you?
Man, I'm good. It's a pleasure to be here. Welcome. I'm glad. Not welcome, but thank you for having me, man.
I'm glad you're here with me today. First thing I want to ask you is, how was your experience at 21, first of all?
Every year it ups the ante of not only just being here, but also being with, speaking with the people that are here at the attendees, just talking to them. I was lucky enough, I was supposed to do an hour workshop, but it ended up being an hour and 45 minutes of great dialogue, great questions, and a lot of private time one-on-one. So to me, I love that. I did the patriarch talking about family, and I did 21 breaking down the importance of the YouTube phenomenon of kayfabe that a lot of young men have to be careful about.
Okay, Explain kayfabe.
Well, kayfabe is something that started a long time ago with wrestlers, where when you watch wrestling, the bad guys, you would believe that the bad guy that you see on TV lived the same life outside of the camera, where they were just playing a role and acting out. So I discussed the 90s, where it was called the Attitude Era, where, they used catchphrases with the crowd to connect with the crowd. So when The Rock would grab the microphone and he would say, "If you smell la 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 la," and the crowd would be, "What The Rock is cooking," or Stone Cold Steve Austin, because Stone Cold, and the crowd would say said. So it was a connection between the wrestler and the audience that sold products. So what's happening today is that individuals are using like hypergamy. They're using female nature, your high value man, being on your purpose. They're using these words to try to connect with the individual who is blinded by the information that is bad. So what I talked about is young men smoking, like taking that as a drug, and not only taking that in, they're waiting for the next phrase. They're waiting in line for the next person to come out with the next phrase. So not only can they use it, but regurgitate it or mimic it in all their language. And that's not what men do.
Okay. Yeah. Now, who benefits from the 21 convention?
Who benefits from the 21 convention? I would say those that make the investment. See, the beautiful thing, and I said this to the men, that you have an advantage. This is an opportunity to really be around men who are going to love you enough to punch you in your chest. Mm-hmm. And I'll say it again, who love you enough to punch you in your chest, who are not trying to sugarcoat it, who are not teaching you how to blame, who are not teaching you how to manipulate or deceive, but they're saying, I love you enough to show you what the real world is like, and that women are not as bad as people say on YouTube, or the government is not as bad. Yeah, there are bad pockets, but once you focus on the individual versus the collective, you begin to see things differently. But it's been beautiful.
And then how do you benefit from 21?
Well, I benefit through the interaction. For me, my benefit is being able to pass knowledge. See, as older men, we must learn how to pass the baton. Because eventually, we're going to die one day. That's the truth. So we need to make sure that in our death, that we are able to pass a baton to somebody, because they are our future. They have to carry on what we left behind. So for me, it's passing the baton to these young men to say that, you know what, it's the importance is not me. The importance is not you. It's the information that we share to each other, that you encode and decode in your life and move as a man.
Okay. So when you're giving your workshops or your speeches, what is the main thing that you want to teach men? The number one thing. We'll start with the number.
The number one thing is that you're the only one of your kind. The people don't understand that your fingerprint is your marker in life and in this world. And there's nobody else like you. So I've always said, if you're the only one of your kind, why not learn your own language that marks your name, your bloodline, your legacy, and your sperm. You don't need to listen and be somebody else. You can take information from somebody else, but you need to learn how to speak, behave, maneuver, and be a man for yourself.
Mm-hmm. Now, you have a unique way of speaking to men. Did you develop that, or is this natural?
Well, this is what people know about us is that, what I am on camera is what you see in real life. I don't change who I am.
I can agree with that.
Yeah, I'm a fun-loving guy that when it comes time to be serious, I'm serious. I don't pull punches. I'm not about what could be. I'm about what is. I can say the same for you. We're men that, care enough to be honest. So this is who I am. It's not a mask that I'm wearing and trying to portray a role. This is who I am 25 hours a day, 8 days a week, and on Sunday.
Okay. Let's talk to a man that is interested in 21 convention, has seen your content and other people's content. What would you say to that guy to change his mind, or to show him the value of a convention like this, and not just yourself, but other speakers?
Well, yeah. Well, before one can change one's mind, one must accept that one's mind needs to be changed. His mind needs to be changed. So I want young men to accept that we have to change, but you don't say I have to change. You've got to begin small processes to make the change. There's so much, unfortunately, because of YouTube and people on YouTube, there's so much clutter and poison that's poisoned a lot of these men's mind that they're going to have to clean their house to get order. They're going to have to defang. They're going to have to clean the pipes, the bad wiring before they can start, because you can't be a doctor overnight. You can't learn how to fly a plane overnight, but you've got to be able here, I feel like with the information, you can stop walking in the wrong direction and start to turn the other opposite direction. That's what I want to do. I don't want to say it's going to happen overnight, because I don't want to give them a lie or anything like that. But once you can realize you have the power to turn around and be in control of your life, that's the first step of process of being a man.
Okay. Now you're also speaking at the 22 convention. What are you talking to women about?
Well, the thing that I talk to women about is manhood. See, one thing women don't understand, they're so busy learning themselves, they don't know men. When is the last time you bought a man a drink? When was the last time you took a man to dinner? When is the last time that you learned, what is his favorite sports team? What is his favorite video game? When is the next Marvel, DC, or John Wick movie coming out? Are you buying tickets to that? See, what women don't understand is they don't understand men because they're so focused on being women. But if you want to have success with something, you need to understand your opponent. So it's not you, oh, I'm just sugar and spice and everything nice. I need to understand men. And to only understand men is to push aside my self-importance and realize that I'm not going after I'm going after his last name is Ring. So what do I bring to the table to fit his narrative? And that's something that's a hard pill to swallow, but it's the truth.
Quick message to the women from Steve the Dean Williams.
Well, what I would say to the women out there is, yes, I want you to value yourself, but you have to understand that your value at the end of the day is going to come from a man. It's the man that chooses you to be in the relationship. It's the man that chooses to move you in. It's the man that chooses to be engaged to you. It's the man that chooses to marry you. It's the man that chooses to have your children. So what you have got to do is you've got to create and cultivate a mindset to show more gratitude, more appreciation, where I call it the 4 S's, Tony: submit, serve, sex, and shh.
Quick message for the men from Steve the Dean Williams.
What I would want to say to the men out there is that you are great men, and never stop being great, and make sure you always focus on you. You are the only one of your kind. And how do I know that? Because you were the one that got to the egg first. And because of that, you are a winner. And the one thing that you have to do is make sure that the information that you get nowadays is putting and making you a single-minded man. Stop mimicking bad behavior and start to mimic yourself.
Steve, you have been a great part of 21 from your first appearance.
Thank you.
And I see many, many more years here. And we appreciate you.
Tony, thank you
for your time.
It's always a pleasure, Tony. Thank you very much, sir.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.